Inclusive language. Do I say this or that? Thank you for joining me. And as you know, I keep saying DEI work is a journey, not a race. What is inclusive language? Well, what does it mean to be inclusive? Including everyone, accommodating people who have historically been excluded. So inclusive language demonstrates our cultural growth. It shows a respect for all people and gaining an awareness of the broader society. And it's language that avoids the use of certain expressions or words that might be considered to exclude particular groups of people. Here's what people say to me often. Gina, I have said this word my entire life. Why is it changing now? Or, are people just too sensitive? I didn't mean this. My answer to those questions are our language does change every time. And if you know something is hurtful, why do you want to continue to do it? Just some fun facts for you. The longest word in the English language is around 170 letters long. It's 12 pages. If you want to laugh at a video, click on that link. Approximately how many words are in the English language? About 170,000. How many languages are in the world? About 7,000. How many words does the average person know? It's around 20 to 35,000. However, 3,000 words will cover 95% of everyday writing, common text and speech like newspapers, blogs, most books, movies. Out of those 3,000 words, only the first 1,000 words are used in 89% of everyday writing. So here's the thing. We know that words change all the time. We only are using around 3,000. So we could choose a word that was more inclusive because we have, 167,000 to choose from. Words have changed over time. Just believe me. Here are some. Back in the 1300s, girl meant young person, either gender. Now, either, meaning at that point in time, they were thinking gender was a binary system, girl, boy. However, we know that's not the case, and that is another training. Back in the 1300s as well, foolish, that was a word, nice. What? 1531, bully meant sweetheart. Opposite of what we would think of now. Can you imagine if I said, I would love for you to meet my bully? No. Words change all the time. This is probably one of the, I think, best examples I can think of about how technology and social media has changed our language. Do you remember the days before social media? Some of you might not. That's okay. I'm in my 40s, so I do remember before the internet. And when I said cookie, it was a food. Now it's info that's stored about you. Spam, when I was growing up, was a meat. Now it's also unwanted messages. Cloud, we're in the sky. Now it's a place where data is stored. Hashtag was a pound sign. Now it means something's trending. Can you see how technology and social media changed our language? And it's not like we all took a quiz on it. We just somehow all know what it means, even if that's not our major. I might not know how to solve all the problems on a computer, but if someone said to me, oh no, Gina, I've got a bug on my computer, I'm going to think something inside is wrong. I'm not going to literally think a bug like an insect. So, words change over time. One thing that's changed over time is pronouns. For me, I think it's easy to say, "Hi, I'm Gina. My pronouns are she, her. And what's your name?" What is a pronoun? A word used instead of a noun. Why do we want to do this? And yes, I put respect on there twice, is because I want to respect you. You have the right to identify how you want to, just like I have a right to identify as she, her. So if Bob comes up to me and says, "Oh, hey, Gina, my name is Bob. My pronouns are they, them," I'm going to say, "Great. Thanks, Bob, and thanks for letting me know." That's it. It really doesn't have to be a big deal. Now, I'm not saying that you have to introduce yourself as, "Hi, I'm Gina. My pronouns are she, her." Nope, I'm not saying that. What I am asking you to do is to consider if someone does introduce their self like that to you, feel free to do so or not. It is about respect and identity and inclusivity. I want everyone to feel welcome and included. And if someone says to me they identify as they, per, then I'm going to show them that respect and use the pronouns that they said. Here's what we'll be talking about when we speak about inclusive language. We're going to talk about gendered language, race and ethnicity, disability, SES, age, addictions, and mental health. Some gendered language. Have you said this phrase, guys? "Hey guys, let's get going. Hey guys, grab the food and pack it in the cart," whatever. Even though when you said guys, Guys, you meant anyone that was there, correct? Probably when you said it was a catch-all phrase, a phrase that would mean whoever's here. But it is gendered language. Here's some other gendered language words. Freshman. See how it ends in MAN? Or it could end, of course, in MEN. But they're first year students. Man-made, I could have said artificial or machine-made. Mankind, I could have said people. Man up. Have you heard that expression? Maybe we are doing something and a male starts crying, and maybe someone says, "Hey, buddy, man up. You can't cry here." It's shaming a man into being tough. Instead of saying mom and dad, you could say family, caregivers, sibling instead of sister, brother. I've also seen the use of X being a little more popular than maybe a couple, 3 years ago. If you're familiar with Latinx, instead of Latino or Latina, you might have seen Latinx, meaning Latinx. People are also using that for folks and alumnus. Race and ethnicity, there's several words that we should just stop using. Why? Because it comes from a racial history. Two, we know we have over 170,000 words to choose from. One word would be gypped. Have you heard that expression? Maybe if I said to you, "Hey, don't get your car fixed at this mechanic, they will gyp you every time." Meaning they're not, maybe they're overcharging me or they're doing something every time, something negative. It's a negative slur against the Romanian gypsies. Ghetto, inner city. Ghetto was coined back in Nazi Germany to separate the Jewish community. However, when the word came over here to the United States, quickly it went to be the non-white areas of the United States. Indian, American Indian. The most politically correct term right now would be Indigenous people, Indigenous peoples, Native Americans, or First Nations. Minority, the true definition is less than, right? So if I said, what's everyone's favorite ice cream? And everyone said chocolate, and I said, oh, vanilla, I would be in the minority. However, again, in our country, minority has such a racial connotation. I would just stop saying it. I would say underrepresented people, those who are marginalized. Peanut gallery. This goes back again to um, back when the black people could not sit only could sit in the back part of theaters. Also, with peanuts, they were a cheap food. Again, just such a negative connotation. Chop chop, long time no see. Have you heard those phrases? Chop chop. If I heard that today, I would think you mean hurry up. Hey, chop chop, we've got to go. The bus leaves in 15 minutes. Well, again, that has a racial connotation. It goes back to when white people would make fun of Native Americans' English or people of Asian descent. Just call a spade a spade. Goes back to slave times. Marijuana, please call it what it is, which is cannabis. And grandfather clause, again, those go back to slave times. Just a term I would not say anymore. Songs, Jimmy Crack Corn, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, Camptown Races, Oh Susanna, 10 Little Indians, Do Your Ears Hang Low. All of these have some type of racial connotation, and most of them had the N word in it at one time, and we've changed it. Disabilities, please say a person with a disability, person who uses a wheelchair, a person with paraplegia, a person who's had a stroke, accessible parking, accessible restroom, easy things to change. SES, social economic status. These are some words. I mean, I hope you don't call anyone trailer trash or white trash. Even working class or blue collar have connotations with certain stigmas that I would rather us choose a phrase to describe who we're talking about. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Very ugly, negative, exclusive statement. Age. Unless in context, please don't refer to people by their generation. So unless I was giving a talk and I'm talking about baby boomers or Generation Z, I really shouldn't say and stereotype and stigmatize a whole group of people. Please avoid things like so simple your grandma could do it. Elderly, youngster, young, over the hill, cougar, adorable. Please use youth or teen or use an age range. Use older or senior or use an age range. Please don't say things like, oh my, you look so good for whatever your age is, or you still dance, drive, whatever at your age. Please don't refer to things as a senior moment just if you happen to forget something. Addiction, please avoid things like addict, junkie. Please use a person in active addiction, a person with substance misuse disorder. Avoid abuse. Avoid clean and dirty. You're substance free. Mental health, please avoid using the words such as crazy, schizo, retarded. Please don't please don't exaggerate something that you really don't have. Maybe I'm just a neat person. That doesn't mean I have OCD. Or maybe today I can't read as quickly as I did yesterday. Doesn't mean I have dyslexia. It means maybe I'm tired or I'm sleepy. But if you were someone who did have a diagnosis of OCD or dyslexia, we really don't want to use those words to make them seem less than what they are. Jargon, slang, idioms. What's jargon? Words or phrase used by a specific profession, such as what we talked about in social media, cloud. Slang, informal words, phrases, such as if I texted you ROTFL. That's, very informal. Idioms, words or phrases that do not literally mean what they express. Have you heard these before? If I said to you, "Oh, we just had our air conditioner replaced and it cost me an arm and a leg," or "I can do this and this at the same time. Great. I'll kill two birds with one stone." Again, are these bad things to say? No. But if English isn't my first language, or maybe it's an expression that's used here in this part of the country, but maybe not on the West Coast, you're excluding people from knowing what you really mean. Culture fit versus a values fit. Avoid there on the left saying, "Well, I need to interview for someone and I'll just know it when I see it. It's a gut feeling. I hope they fit in with our space." It's really talking about, as we said in the previous class, it's your bias talking. Please use specific examples, concrete, explicitly stated. That's what we want. That's how we want to use inclusive language on those job postings, committee postings, tips. Remember, people first, not a blind woman. It's a woman who's blind. When in doubt, ask. Don't assume. And I'm going to ask you, do you really need to know the answer to the question you're asking? Some of the questions we ask are simply out of being nosy. Keep studying and learning. Record yourself. Get an accountability buddy and act and plan with intention. Here's some TED Talks and some other resources. Please let me know if you have questions regarding inclusive language.